Hi parents, hi everyone. So last night at 7 p.m, Copthall Girls Secondary School had their virtual open evening and I was very impressed. I didn't have high expectations because I try to be very balanced and unbiased. But yeah, they really impressed me actually. I particularly liked the head. I think she has done great things. She comes across really genuinely. And yeah, I'm going to read you my notes, see what you think. Okay, so Miss Ford is the head teacher. She has been there for 5 years as head. The school was last Ofsted inspected in May 2018, in which the Ofsted found that it had made significant improvements and it was in the top 3% in progress in the country. Now, in order to have that kind of stat, you have to have been in a position where you needed improvement. And this was definitely the case for Copthall. I think it's gone through different reputations over the year. It was at an Ofsted stage of requiring improvement. So I think Miss Ford has turned the school around and she's done really great things. I think it's an up and coming, really, really good school. Okay, she talked about the culture being outward facing and a very diverse community. And on the website, there is a page dedicated to the Year 6 transition, which is great. I haven't gone back to it yet. I haven't had time to go and see that, but I will do. She also talked about there being a 360-degree tour of the school, which I haven't seen in other state schools yet, apart from private schools like Habs and some of the grammars. So that's quite a good thing. That she talked about having aspirations and academic rigor at the school. She also talked about a partnership, I presume this is relatively new, a partnership with Mill Hill Independent School, which is their nearest school apart from Hasmonean Boys. It's also the school that I went to. So I was very intrigued in what this partnership is going to bring to the table. I'm sure it will be fab. This was the highlight for me. So mental health and mental well-being of our young people is the most important thing on my mind at the moment. Okay. They all need a little bit of TLC and some sustained period of being in school. Yeah. She has employed a full-time counsellor that she's now invested in, full-time counsellor at Copthall School. So I imagine it's an open door policy that you can just go and see the counsellor and talk to him or her if you have any concerns. I think that is fantastic. What an initiative, and recognising as a community what we need for our young people. So I was really impressed by that. So that's, branching pupil wellbeing and staff wellbeing too. And she championed her staff. She was really lovely about them. She talked about COVID in the school and how they have zoned and bubbled the students to deal with all of the guidelines that we are being given and are being changed. Enrichment activities were happening via Zoom, so they're still happening, but not in person, via Zoom. Students are happy and delighted to be back. Well, do you know what? I'm sure they're all happy to be back. She described herself as a visionary head teacher, determined and resilient. Now, you know that I love the word resilient, and it reflects what our young people are at the moment, their ability to bounce back. She says she's visible on the gate at school and she has lunch with the girls, which I thought was lovely. Get in there, talk to them, know them, be present, amazing. Her core purpose is for the girls to fulfill their potential, which I thought was nicely worded. And she champions the students every day. See, so genuine, so lovely. This is what you want in a head. These are the kinds of things you want them to be saying. Numbers have increased significantly this year for the school, which is testament to the school doing something really, really right. It shows again, if you read between the lines, that the numbers were not always hitting capacity, not always hitting 100%. And she did also say, which I didn't comment here, that if it continues to go like this, they will be an oversubscribed school. Now, look at Wren, who I'm going to talk about in my next video, look at Archer, oversubscribed schools. It means that the teaching is excellent and that it's very competitive to get in. If you're an oversubscribed school, there's a reason for it, and it's obviously a good one. Okay, then the deputy in charge of academics came on. And he showed pictures from the recent GCSE crop on results day. They all looked thrilled. And the GCSE headlines for 2020 were that they achieved over the national average. Hurrah. Progress over the last 4 years has been significantly above average for Copthall, for GCSE and A-level. They know their students. I thought that was quite powerful. They do personalised pathways for learning. So when you know your student, you know how they best learn. You know how to best communicate with them. That's what they mean by that. They celebrate success. Great. And the girls, become developed and well-rounded individuals. I thought that was lovely. Okay, they have STEM students. STEM stands for Science, Technology, English and Maths. Okay, so those are 4 of the core subjects. If you are interested in those, this could be a school for you, for your girl. They use the facilities at Mill Hill School, which are extensive. Okay, so that's a good partnership for them. And I think that might be part of the reason why they are, climbing the tables at the moment. Again, she talked about the cross-partnership with Mill Hill School and mental health, which was intriguing. She didn't go into it anymore, but I suppose we'll hear in due course. Then it went on to a Q&A. Lots of questions. How will Copthall evolve? The sixth form will be growing. Again, talking about this Mill Hill School partnership. This was interesting. So one of the targets, I suppose, is for the staff to go into primary schools and develop relationships with them and the students now, so they are present, so that Copthall, it's quite a clever way to do it. Copthall is something that is on people's radar. People know about Copthall. What are you achieving? What are your grades like? What are the types of kids that you would like to go to your school? So building those relationships, very, very important. Then the leading pastoral teacher came on. She deals with behaviour and attitude and things like that. She said that the students, she's focused on well-being. The students feel safe and happy, and there's a personal development plan for each student. Very important. Well-being is at the heart of everyone. They have 24 to 30 students in each form, which is good numbers. If it's down the 24 end, that's quite good. It's like private. The structure of the pastoral, they are very well staffed, and the forms have a co-tutor. That's quite unusual to have 2 adults in your form room, so 2 members of staff that you can talk to if you've got a problem or whatever you need. You've got 2 members of staff. That is, great. Then she talked about behaviour. Behaviour was overall positive and in support of learning, and incidents are dealt with quickly in a therapeutic way, so therapeutic approach. So a lot about talking. Bullying. This was interesting. So their approach to bullying, obviously zero tolerance, don't like it, don't want it here. They interview the girls separately. They resolve the issue. Then there's a reconciliation. And then 6 weeks later, they follow up. I'd be interested to know if that does happen, because the 6-week follow-up bit is the bit that would quite easily slip through the net. But great idea. Then the curriculum leader for English came on and spoke. She talked about the girls reading for pleasure, which was lovely. And then there was a question about how do they stretch the more able students. And this is always something that has to be in place. We call it the gifted and talented, but stretching the more able is probably quite PC. Lessons are pitched very high, but they're a mixed ability class. So what do they do for the ones that are not quite coping? Didn't quite get that. Maybe worth inquiring a little bit more about that. Then the leader for maths, whose name was Mr. Brilliant. Love that. He seemed very nice. He had a lovely slideshow with all pictures about things that they're creating that are to do with maths in the classroom. There's a project that's been going on for 2 years that's still not completed. It's like 2/3 completed or something. It was quite cool. Talking about trips and challenges. So that's a way of making maths more interesting. I needed him when I was at school. Then the science teacher came on. There are 9 purpose-built labs. I didn't know that because I haven't been to see this school yet. And then she talked about the STEM programme. So again, good for science. Then Miss Ford was asked the question why Copthall stands out. And her answer was it's the girls. So the girls are the ones that bring the culture. to the school and make it what it is, make it as good as it can be. They're polite, respectful, eager to learn, and proud to be the Copthall family. I love it when a school talks about their staff and kids as a family. I think that's a really positive thing. She said, Copthall has been on a journey, hasn't it just? Going from requiring improvements to being good is a real, commendation to you. She talked about mental health issues during the time in school, and that there's nationally a growing need for us to look after our young people. Talked about the school counsellor again, and then I asked the question about the potential of it going co-ed, and this because the area that I live in Mill Hill, it's a bit of a black hole for schools. We don't have many options. We have to go a little bit further out in general. And the idea for going co-ed was explored 18 months ago, but they have decided that they're not going to, a strategic decision to keep the girls in a girls' school. Let's see what happens in the future, because Millbrook Park is ever expanding. How many girls do we take into the sixth form? 200. There are 180 girls per year group. And then one of the final question was, why a girls' school over a mixed school? That was one of the parents' questions. And Miss Ford said that she had 3 girls herself and a granddaughter. And she finds that in a single-sex school, in an all-girls school, they're not shy, they're not embarrassed. They have empathy, sympathy, and they feel that they're in a safe space. And that girls do better in single-sex schools. However, that is completely up to you, and a decision that a conversation you need to have with your daughter if you are looking at Copthall versus a mixed school. They're all good. And if your daughter wants to thrive in a mixed environment, nothing wrong with that either. Okay, hope that helped. Bye.